Good evening, guys. MWUSA, Season 3, Episode 265. It is 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, and I am going to head off to one casino, see if we can make a little bit of money. I am ready to make my goal for the year, and I don't want to miss it by $500 or $1,000, so we are going for it. I entered everything into the spreadsheet and updated it with all available information, and as of right now, I am approximately $9,500 away from getting my goal for the year, and I have approximately 350, about $2,800 in the hopper, ready to be paid out on miscellaneous items, and just waiting for those things to come through, and could be good. The big one, which is just over $2,000, may not make it until the beginning of January, so I'm a little worried about that, but hopefully everything will work out with that. This evening, it is 25 degrees outside, and I just felt like going out and trying to get some EV. We are leaving for our trip on Monday, so I will be playing tonight, Saturday night, going to church tomorrow, having lunch with the family tomorrow afternoon, and then going to play Sunday afternoon into Monday morning, get home by 4 or 5 in the morning Monday, leave home at 8 in the morning on Monday morning, just a few hours later, for a very long drive, a day-long drive, and we will be hitting the casinos in that area. I have things set up where we're going to be gone for at least 5 nights. I will have one casino room for 3 nights, and then one casino room for 2 nights. The first casino is a better opportunity to make money than the second one. I will be playing unrated there, even though I have a card there, and they always give me a free room anyway. So when I don't play blackjack, I will play slots there as well. I don't really care about the points there that much, but I'll probably play enough on an off shift that doesn't know me to get enough points to continue to get the free rooms. At the second casino, their blackjack is terrible, so I'll be focusing on slots there and just generating points to continue to get free rooms in that area. Now, both of these places are about an hour away from where the family is in different directions, so they're a couple hours, well, maybe not a full couple hours, but they are further apart from each other. So there's going to be opportunities, but I have to balance it with family time, and we'll see how that goes. Right now, like I said, heading off to my one and only casino of the evening, and hopefully we get some good things happening and we can make some money, and I'll be back to update you. You may be wondering why the car is so quiet. It's because I'm driving my wife's car. My car was dropped off this morning, and it'll be worked on while I'm out of town. So many deer out tonight. We do live kind of in the country, and you just have to watch it. Right now is like mating season, and they're kind of like half drunk with, that, and so you just have to be careful. But the roads are clear and not too windy outside. Like I said, it's cold, but not terrible, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. Listen to how quiet this car is. Is this how you people live? Must be nice to be rich. Alright, I walk in this place and it's still pretty busy, and there's some college football, college basketball going on, some San Diego State basketball and things like that happening, and walking around looking for things. I see one guy that I'm sure is checking machines. I'm 99% sure he was, but he was just kind of like staring at me as he walked by, so I don't know if I'm supposed to know him or not. I meet so many people, but Anyway, it was a bunch of small plays. I was ahead about $90 or $100 right away, and hung around there the whole time. And then there was one point about 45 minutes into my running around there, that I found a machine. Well, okay, so I walked by the high limit room about 5 times, and there's a machine that I really think has a lot of possibilities, and still fine-tuning my game on it. And there's a guy sitting on the machine next to it, and his girlfriend is sitting at that machine. And with this one, you can't tell anything. You have to actually sit down at the machine and do some investigation. So I wait for them, and I come back around every 15 or 20 minutes, and they're just not getting up. Finally, I come around, they left like $1.75 in the machine, but it's like a high denomination, and they left a play. But the play was at $25 a spin. All right, so there's a couple things here. It's not a long play, usually. So I'm feeling good that I'm going to get some points, but it's high risk, but it could be a huge reward. So it could pay anywhere between $1,000 and $4,000 or more, and it's in a pretty good position. So I sit down, I put my voucher in. It was like I had only bought in for like $20, and I had a voucher for like $120, $130, and that was gone in about 2 seconds. And then put in 400 more to make it 500, and that was gone. And 200 more, and that was gone. And 300 more, so I was in a total of 1,000. I'm 99% sure that's what it was, 1,000 even. And then it finally hit, and it paid $11.25. And I was down to like my last spin when it hit. So I ended up, at that point, I was ahead. So I was only in 25 when I got to that machine, but by the time I left that machine, I was in for a total of $1,000 for the night. So I ended that part of my session ahead $125. I'm walking around, I find a couple other plays, some heartbreak, some good, some bad. But to make a long story short, I ran a few $1,000s through the machines, which is not that much, and I ended the session ahead $146, which really is not great, but it's better than losing money, right? So plus $146 there, and I was walking around, and this one slot tech kept seeing me walk by. Anywhere he was, I happened to be. So he was kind of like smiling at me, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just looking for something to play. And so he showed me a couple machines that he likes, which are total garbage. But it's interesting to see the reasoning behind those. And I continued walking around, and like I said, I ended my session ahead $146. So, it's something. I do need to get some fuel before I go home, so we have gas to get to church in the morning. I would like to go to other places, but the next closest casino is 80 miles from this casino, so probably not going to happen. So right now I am heading toward home unless something else calls to me, and I'll catch up with you probably tomorrow. All right, good afternoon, guys. It is Sunday afternoon, and it's time to go make some money. Now, I didn't remember this. So this morning we ended up going to church. We went in 2 different cars, my wife's van, and then I borrowed a car because my car is being worked on. And then I brought that car back, and we all came home. We went to like a Japanese steakhouse thing for lunch, came back home, and I was working on some of my side stuff that I do. And then getting ready to leave, and my wife says, "Which car are you taking?" And I'm like, I forgot. I didn't realize that my car is being worked on. I just automatically assumed that, just from habit, that it's going to be sitting there waiting for me. So I ended up having to take her car, which means that she can't go anywhere today unless somebody lends her a car. So that's what's going on right now. So I'm taking her car, and my car right now is in process of being fixed. And he took the one wheel hub off, and there was a bolt that wouldn't come off, so he had to drill it off. So now he is going to a Ford dealer that maybe might have their parts department open to get a new bolt, and then he'll have to work on the other wheel hub, and then we'll get it back tomorrow probably, but we'll be gone by then. So no big deal. I was going to get a haircut this afternoon, but I'll just do it on the trip, so that's fine. The plan for tonight is something that I've never done before. I'm planning on going to the first casino like I normally would, and then the second one is going to be the one that I normally go to last. The third one is the one I normally would go to second, and then come back to the first casino and stay there maybe overnight. I'm really considering doing this. I'm going to think about this for a second, because I've got 8 hours before midnight right now, and I need to be back at the first place in 8 hours, because that's when the point multiplier starts, and I need to get those points in. I think it's a 5x multiplier, and with that, then I only need to run like $18,000 through, and I could do that in one night, no problem, if I had the right opportunities. And even if I didn't have the right opportunities, I could do it with a small loss or a break even, hopefully, and get that over with. So that's the plan right now. I'm heading out to the first place, and I'll be back to update you soon. Right now it is 30 degrees outside. Alright guys, I am back, just leaving this place. And honestly, I'm a little down, and I wouldn't be down if I wasn't so close to getting my goal, but it's just barely not there. It's not feeling great. I'm working on some other stuff right now too. Just making an extra 50 here, 20 there, 30 there, and we'll see how that goes. But I did go into this place, and it was pretty busy, and you know what, I'm driving my wife's car, and I don't know where it is. It was pretty busy in there. I did find a play right away, and that one put me up. I have no idea how much, 40, 50, something like that. And looked around at a bunch of other stuff. And honestly, if it was something that was pretty much there, I was going to play it because I wanted the points, but I just couldn't find much. And I didn't end up playing any real high denomination stuff because it just wasn't there. I did talk to a friend of mine, and I told him about my predicament and trying to get these points and all that, and he's like, yeah, that's nothing, because these guys, a lot of these guys will stay in one place, and where I'm trying to get, like, let's say $750,000 in play in, they're already at 3 or 4 million for the year. So that much in that much time with a multiplier is not a big deal to them. Unfortunately, today there's no multiplier until tomorrow, so I'm leaving this place and we're going to go on to somewhere else, and I'm hoping to do a round trip and be back here in 8 hours, which is now, yeah, in about 8 hours still, 7 hours, and we'll see how that goes. But I did a lot of walking in there and just couldn't find much. I ended up settling for being ahead $95, so that's fine. Isn't it nice to have a nice quiet ride? Man, I forgot what it was like. I've been driving these junkers here for so long, I forgot what it was like not to have all kinds of noise in my ear. But right now, we're going to move on to another place. And actually, this place, someone had asked me if I was going to be there today, because they're doing like some kind of, I don't know, some kind of promotion, like every half hour or so you get something for free. And I said I wouldn't be there. But, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I shouldn't go there. I shouldn't go there because it's going to be so packed, there's not going to be any opportunity for me. There's going to be too many people doing what I'm doing, and I don't think it makes sense to go there. And unfortunately, that's the closest place to where I am. So now, let's think about this. Other places that I can go none of them are going to be in the same company, under the same umbrella as the one I was at just now. The closest place to this one from where I am now is like 4.5 hours away, so that doesn't make sense. I'd go all the way there and then have to wait there for the multiplier to start, so that doesn't make sense. So, man, I guess I have to go to this next place. There is another place, but that one's going to be packed and has a little bit less opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and go to the place as scheduled and see what happens. And, you never know. Hopefully there'll be something there for me. So that's what's going on right now. And I'm putting a lot of stock in being here after midnight. And hopefully all that works out. So anyway, letting you go for now. And I'll be back to update you soon. Well, heck. Man, sometimes doing the right thing can feel so bad. So I'm playing here. I'm not playing actually. Couldn't find anything to play. Tons of people on here. I was right. It was a bad place to go. They had these hourly giveaways. People were everywhere. Asians were everywhere. Middle-aged white guys were everywhere. And there was no opportunity to make any money. So I'm walking around looking, and I get to the back of the casino, and I see a play. There's looks like a retired couple sitting there, and they're playing this machine. They've got about $140. It's $3 a spin, and there's a play at 3 different levels. And it was a big play. I mean, we're talking EV was probably $600. So I decided to stand behind there. After about 10 minutes, I look over and I see this Asian lady there. And I'm wondering, was I there first or was she there first? I'm not really sure. And then as this couple is done playing, well, I see the Asian lady talking to this guy. And as I see the older couple finishing up, and they're getting ready to stand up, that guy that she was talking to walks up to me and says, "Just so you know, she was there first." And I said, "How do you know she was?" He said, "Well, because she told me." And then you have to make a decision. Do you want to have a war with a bunch of these people for no reason, even if it is money that I desperately need right now to get to my goal for the year? Or do you just want to leave it alone? And I wasn't positive anyway. They might have been right. Why get into a fight about nothing and then both of us get kicked out of this place? So I decided to leave it. So I had planned ahead, and I knew that there was giveaways and things going on, and I had somebody who was going to work with me on it, and we were going to do some plays together. So I know I have about, right now, so far, from what I understand, I have at least $50 coming. And then I made one play on one machine for 1 minute and made $15 even on that one. And that's all I did. So I made $15. I've got more money coming in. I won't have the answer as to how much till the end of the night. But it's exactly what I expected to happen. And now I'm worried about the rest of the places I'm going to go. But the thing is, my only other choice is to go back home and wait till almost midnight, till like 10 p.m., and then go to that casino. It's the same thing, right? I mean, by the time I travel all the way back home and travel all the way to that casino, it's going to be that time anyway. So at this point, I'm moving on to another casino. I'm going to be very careful at this next casino not to have a problem, not to get backed off, not to have too big of a spread. And we're just going to try to play a little blackjack, maybe make $300 to $500 playing lower limits, and we'll see how it goes. At least push the ball forward a little bit. I did, I think I mentioned I updated my chart already. I'm down, I'm only like 8,900 away from my goal before yesterday. And then we've got all of yesterday and all of today, whatever I made. I have no idea how much that was. Let me see. Yesterday was 146. Today's already been 100 and something. So still like 8,700 away. I feel like tonight is going to make a big difference, but it's nothing. I'm not too worried because I still have all this other stuff in the hopper ready to pop. It's almost $3,000 ready to pop. So that'll get me a third of the way there, and making $6,000 in the next 10 days should not be hard. So, I just gotta take it one step at a time. It'll get there. So that's what's happening right now. Looking at the temperature outside, it's 31 degrees, and I'm moving on to another casino. I'll be back. All right, guys, I'm back. So I knew when I walked in there today something big was going to happen. They were going to say something. They were going to ask me for ID. They were going to tell me to leave, something. I felt it. I walk in there. I walk through security, no problem. Of course, I'm always looking down. I'm looking away from the cameras with security. Then I'll rub my eye when I look at the guard and say hello to him. So, facial recognition, hopefully, I don't know, maybe I'm imagining it, but I'm hoping that kind of bypasses a lot of that stuff. But, I walked in and I looked at one slot machine, which is one of the major ones, and the only reason I looked only at that one is because it's a high value machine. It's a lot of money, and a lot of times people don't have the money to play it. Although it's a busy night and there are a lot of people here, that's the only one I looked at. I figured if there's going to be one that has any plays on it, it's going to be that one. There wasn't.
This route avoids road closures on I-471
as I was looking
south.
at it,
you are on the fastest.
As I was looking at it, I see this security guy. He's kind of like a cross between a security guard and a cop. You can't really tell exactly what's going on with him. And he's like staring at me. And I'm like, okay. And I'm walking around the casino and I see him behind me. And then I walk into the blackjack area and he goes away. So I guess everything was all right. What's going on here? This road is closed again. Man, these people, stop it. All right, so I go to the blackjack area. There's, I don't know how many, 3 or 4 tables open. One of them is empty. The other ones are completely packed. So I went to the empty table. I sit down. I buy in for $500, and I win the first hand. I get a blackjack on the second hand, and you know what I'm going to say? The same thing that's been happening. I start getting tortured, and they're taking my shoes off. They're putting bamboo under my toenails, doing all this stuff. And the whole time I was there, I got one blackjack. Did I get a second one toward the end? I'm trying to think. No, I never did. So I only ended up with one blackjack the whole time I played that table. Eventually, the dealer had to go on break, and then a break runner came, and I finished out my session with that guy. And looking for this charger. So I bought it for $500, then $1,000, then $1,500, and then finally $2,000. And every time I had to rebuy, I had a high count. I had like $300 handout, and I had to rebuy for the double down or the split or something every time I did. So all 3 times, I guess. And pretty much every time, I think I lost all 3. And then things started turning around a little bit, and finally I was ahead a little bit, and I'm like, good, let's keep this going, let's end this shoe strong. And I went from my last buy-in, my $2,000 point, to when I got up was like 3 minutes. Because as soon as I lost that hand, the count was still high. Okay, so it was a $300 double down. I had $100. I rebought for $500, which put me in for $2,000. I lost that hand. So now I had gone from $100 to $600 with my rebuy. I was down to 3, and then I won. I got to $600, 18, 12, whatever, 9, 12, 18, and finally I ended up at $2,700. The count stayed flat the whole time, and the shoe ended at $2,700, which means I was ahead $700. Now, the pit boss, who I like to call Mr. Poo Poo Caca Head, Mr. Poo Poo Caca Head came over and he said, What'd you win, 500 bucks? Because he has seen me do this for 4 years, almost exactly 4 years. And they see me come in and hit him for 300, hit him for 500, hit him for 700, and leave for all that time, and they haven't said anything. And I said, yeah, 500. Actually, it was 700, but whatever. So I ended up walking away plus 700, and I ended up cashing out 2,000 at the cashier, which the cashier manager had to do the double on that one, and she's one that I've tangled with a few times. But I waved to her while I was standing in line, and she came over, and I said, before we do this, I just want to do the important part. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope your next year is safe, and blah blah blah. And she's like, oh yeah, okay. Never asked me for the ID. And then they cashed me out to 2,000. I went to the poker room, and normally this poker room's a smaller poker room, so you don't get a lot of $500 chips there. But I did. I had a 500 and two $100 chips, and when I go to the poker room, I always have like one purple chip, and I always say the same thing. I say something like, "You got to know when to quit." And she's like, "Oh, you mean when you're up or when you're down?" I said, "Really, both, but in this case, when I'm down, I got some of my money back, but I don't want to give it all back again." She's like, "That's really smart. That's a good thing that you do that." And then she paid me out the 700, and I go out the door. And meanwhile, with all their new stuff going on with security right now, there was a huge line of people trying to get into the casino. So now there is a casino that's like 5 minutes away from this casino. So I'm going to run over there and see if I can come up with anything. And then we have to start heading back because I only have like a little over 4 hours before I need to be back to try to get as many points as I can. Now, there might be a big bust and I end up with no points and not finding any plays. You never know, but at least I want to be there for the multiplier to have a chance to get the points that I want. So right now I'm heading off to my next stop, and I'll be back with you when I'm done there. All right, guys, I'm back. Take two. I'm re-recording this. I got a phone call in the middle of it the first time, just leaving this casino, and no love, no joy. I walk in. It's pretty busy, not packed, but it's kind of busy. And I go to my first area to look at the machines I normally look at, and there's a guy that I know there. Okay. I move on, look at a few more, go to the next major area. There's another guy that I know. I'm like, okay, this is good. And then we talk for a while, and then go on and go to another area, and the two of them are talking to each other. So, needless to say, there was no chance to make money there. I did find a stray dollar, so I'll take that. But that was it. So, no opportunity to make money there. Now, it only took an extra minute. Well, it took about 5-10 minutes to get here, and about 10 minutes in there. So it didn't really cost me much. It didn't slow me down much. But unfortunately, no love there. And so we're going to continue on. We're going to go to, now we're heading back toward home, and I'm hoping to hit a different casino that I didn't hit before. We'll see how the timing goes. I may not have time for it. We'll see. So that's what's happening right now. I'll probably stop for something to eat soon as well, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. A little heartfelt moment, a little heartwarming moment. I got a call from my wife. I called back, and it was my little boy was calling me to check on me, see how I was doing. Because all my kids know is that I work at night sometimes, and he was just checking on me, making sure everything was okay, and wanted to know what time I would get home. So that feels good. That's a nice little thing. I go into this place and just cannot find anything, and I'm just walking and walking and walking. I can't find a thing. I mean, I walked so far today. I'm at almost 12,000 steps, so it's been a lot of walking today. Anyway, I was getting ready to leave. I was down about $90. Played one other machine and got up from that one. Even worse, I was down 331, I believe. And then went and found another machine, very high volatility machine, and played that one through. And I was involved for as much as $600. I was down to my last $40 and finally hit. And I ended up, it paid over $900. I ended up walking away plus $363. So plus $363 there brings us over $1,000 for the day. It was a lot of hard work, but we got there, and we're going to continue on. So now the goal is to get back to the one casino, but I found a way to go to another one and only add a little bit of time. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because I think I have enough time to hit both of these and only be about 20 minutes after midnight that I get back to the casino that I want to be at. So one more door that I get to walk in means a little bit more opportunity to make money, and we're going to go for it. So heading out to this next casino, it's about 40 minutes away from my current position, and I'll be back to update you. All right, guys, another familiar story. Walk in, see very little, start to think that I'm not going to find anything, play a few small plays, end up losing some money. I was down as much as, I think about $80, not too much. I think the top play that I had was $1 a spin at that point. And then I'm looking around and I see nothing. I find a small play, also at $1 a spin, and play that one through. And that one, I'm trying to think, I think that one put me ahead. I don't know why I'm blanking out on this. A little bit, like $20 or something like that, $30. And then find another play that one, end up losing money. I'm back below zero. And then find one more play on the way out at $2 a spin and play that through. And I ended my session ahead $167. So if you add all that up, and if you consider that play that I had someone working with me on, which came out to about $60 profit, I am ahead over $1,400 for the night, which is excellent, much better than I expected it to be for this area. And we're going to need that money because there could potentially be some large plays overnight. We're playing multipliers, and from what I hear, there is you actually can get 2,500 extra points if you reach 2,500 points in one day, which I don't know if that's right or not. I'm going to check with some people that I know and see what they know about that. And right now we're going to continue on to that casino, and we should get there actually ahead of schedule, about 5 minutes early. What I did was, once I got into this casino, I put the other one in my maps, and I knew exactly how much time I had in there, because obviously I'm going to be at the other place for many hours. I don't know, unless I decide not to go through with all of it, but potentially I could be at that place for many hours. So why not spend as much time as I can at this place before I get there? So that's what's happening right now. And I'm actually considering, probably won't go, but I'm considering going to a bowl game, a college football bowl game. I'm going to think about it over Christmas. I know it's not going to get any cheaper, but I'm kind of interested in some of that stuff. Not too bad, mostly to take my kids. The last time I went to a football game was a championship game with my two oldest kids, and at the time they didn't fully get it, and I remember them complaining Dad, why are we so far up? It was like the 30th row, and they're complaining. They don't realize what these things cost. And we were at like the 40-yard line. They were complaining. They had no clue. But I'm actually thinking about this. If I do it, I probably won't. But if I do it, there are casinos in the area where I'd be going. So there would be a potential for that. So that's what's happening right now. I'm going to let you go, and I'll be back to update you soon. Alright guys, as I am getting close to this casino, it's almost midnight, and feeling a little bit tired here, not too bad. I want to try to get at least a couple hours in here before heading home, and then definitely need to get a little bit of sleep before my long drive tomorrow. Right now it is 24 degrees outside, and like I said, closing in on the casino here, and hopefully we can get some points. Hopefully we can make some money before we call it a day. So that's what's happening right now. I'll be back. Alright guys, I am back. So I believe I was able to get what's equal to 15,000 of the 18,000 points I need. So I got just over 2,500 points, and there's a 5 times multiplier, so that's 12,500. And I believe that there's a 2,500 point bonus if you achieve 2,500 points in one day, which I just did in 3.5 hours, and that makes the total 12,500 plus 2,500, 15,000 points. So I believe I just got 15,000. I only need about 3,800 more points, and I can easily do that, so I'm not too concerned about it. What that does essentially is it keeps me from having to go to a certain casino that I don't really like in the area that I'm going to, so I can focus more on blackjack and the better casinos. So now it did come with a price. Let's see here, pull it up real quick. I ended up losing 441, so still ahead 1,000 for the day, but I did lose some money obtaining those points, but I would say that's not bad at all. So I don't know what's making this noise here. Huh. I wonder if I drove over something. Alright, well, that's what's going on right now while I'm hearing this clicking here. Maybe it's it was just the wipers. Alright, so let's talk a little bit. What did you eat today, MW? And after church, my family and I went to a Japanese steakhouse type place. It's the only one around that will allow you to get the lunch special on the weekend. So you can pretty much get like a $11 or $12 meal, including a salad and vegetables and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty nice. I ended up sharing a feast for two with my daughter. It included like steak and chicken. It was pretty good. It was good, but I think the oil really gets to me. So like after we're done eating, I go straight home. No side trips anywhere. And I would give that I'd give it a 9 on a scale of 2 through ace, only because I think they use too much oil and it upsets my stomach. And then let's see, later on, like 4 or 5 hours ago, I went through a McDonald's drive-thru and got a fish fillet, which is like, it's so ridiculously small now. Same with the Big Macs. Look them up online. You can see how much smaller they've gotten over time. But it was okay. It came with free fries, and I asked for ketchup, and oh yeah, I'll get it for you, no problem. No ketchup and no napkins in the bag. So I made sure that I left a comment about my order, that it was not done properly, and I explained the situation. So that probably won't come to anything, but it's very annoying to me when I stop and I say, I want ketchup, and lots of it, and then, oh yeah, I will, like I'm bothering the guy, then not only do I not get the ketchup, but I don't even get any kind of napkins. So I'm going to give that a 7 on a scale of 2 through ace. And what did you tip today, MW? So I did have one blackjack session today, and the dealer is one that I don't really like, but she was gone when I finished up anyway. The brake runner was there, so I didn't see any need to tip anybody. And then as far as slots, did not win any jackpots, so the tips there were $0. So overall, $0 in tips. And I believe overall I'm ahead almost exactly $1,000. And I got the points that I needed, I believe, and I'll be able to get the rest of them between now and the end of the year. So that makes me feel better. I can keep my status. I can keep my free cruises, my free reimbursements, free trips, Bahamas trip. I think they have a Dubai trip also. Not that I would take it, but I think that's still there. So, all right, that's pretty much it. Right now it's Monday morning, about 4 a.m., and just heading home. And I will be driving in about 4 hours. So got to get some rest and get back on the road. I will be playing tonight, Monday night, at the destination city. So look for an episode to be released probably early Tuesday morning, because I'll probably play late tonight. So that's it. You're all caught up. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.